Mitchell, how are you? And this podcast is going to cover ultimately all your books, what you're doing, any latest news. And you are a working author that's been doing this for a while, haven't you, Mitchell?
Yes, I have 5 books that are already published and out. The sixth one, which is the first of this new series with Abbey Road's Mysteries, that comes out January 29th. And then every 6 months after that, we'll release another one.
All right. So let's talk about specifically how you became an author. Give us that story.
um, I've been wanting to write since I was in 6th grade. So I guess my first thing published was a letter to the editor in 8th grade in the local newspaper. And then my first short story was published my freshman year in college. And then I published 3 since then. And then a one-act play. And then I got my first novel published in 1996.
Wow. Okay. All right. So in 1996, so you've been writing a long time. What was the first series the first book that you published in 1996?
Crossing the Line. It was about an assassin um, who had amnesia on his parents' death, and he was told that they were both killed in a car accident. And he finally starts to have some memories back and realizes that someone in his own organization killed them. So as he's searching for vengeance, then that's the whole plot of that.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. And that was the start. And then you kind of came into these ideas of series. Uh,
Yes.
so after you published a book in 96, what was the next venture?
The next one was the Cane Shade Journeys. So I pitched that as a trilogy, and it was for an adult Dungeons and Dragons type theme. And the editor at that point in time said, if you did this for young adult, we would consider doing it. So I toned it down for young adult. And then he said, I still need to know why I should care about these characters. And so he suggested a prequel, and that became what I guess we'd call a quadology.
Cool. Okay. And so when was the first one published of the series?
First one was published, I want to say 2013.
Oh, wow. So it's been a while. And then the
Yeah,
last of the series was published when?
they were about a year and a half apart.
Okay. Okay. All
And then
right.
I ended up having cancer twice, and so
Oh,
my creativity, my brain thought just wasn't what it was, supposed to be, and I couldn't write for a long time, and so now it's back, and I'm 5 years clear, and
that's
I'm
great.
writing like crazy.
Well, I'm glad that again you were able to overcome that
Mhm.
challenge. So the last of the series was written when? The last one you did.
The last one I published was in 2016 or 17, and that was my first bout of cancer. I just as the last book was coming out.
Okay, so you have another series you've written some other books since then too, and then we'll go into the latest one
Yes.
and
Well,
talk about
that's
yeah.
that's the new series is what I've written since then. So,
Okay, what about the other book? Oh, the black cover
oh,
book.
okay. Scales of Justice.
Uh-huh.
That was crossing the line, but I did not like the cover. I did not like what they had trimmed out or cut out of the book when they published it. So I re-released it on Amazon and wrote it the way I wanted to do it to begin with.
All right, we're going to go into the types of books of each book, and then the
Okay.
last book and the series is coming out in January. Tell us about that. Uh-huh.
That one is featuring Abby Rhodes, the homicide detective in Nashville. And so I did not want to start with a full blown Sherlock Holmes type character. So this is her growth and the story arc that we are writing and the publishers agreed to is a 6 book series. And then we can go on from there. But she's kind of learning the ropes, how she fits in, using her insights. And so the opening story, having been a pastor, retired pastor and pastor teacher, sorry, um, is sorry, a pastor found dead in the bottom of a baptistry. And so with her backstory is that she grew up as a missionary's child and her father was very, very strict and very abusive. And so she ran away from the church, away from God, and her first big case is in a church, the last place she said that she would ever go.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. And this is a series. You're only releasing the first book, right?
Yeah, the first book is coming out January 29th of 2025. And then late July is book 2, which is the least of these.
Okay. And how many books are in the series?
Hopefully infinite.
Yeah, okay. And why you think this? What is it? What makes you so passionate about Abbey Roads? That's an interesting.
Uh, well, that's a character that got cut out of the Crossing the Line that I put back in with Scales of Justice, and it was a detective, and she's just kind of an uphill battle, but has a chip on her shoulder and is uh, confident, and then she just has to overprove herself. And so I rebooted her with another backstory, and I'm really enjoying this because as a Christian writer, and these books are crossover secular Christian that just happens to be in a church the first book, but she is confronting her past, and you get that over the 6-book series of what happened to her that caused this downfall.
And this is an adult series compared to the children's series, the other one.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The fantasy series was a young adult, so middle school, high school, and this one definitely is adult.
And you want to keep writing Abbey Road. So do you see
Yes.
this as a movie or a series?
Oh, I would love to see it as a movie. But it's definitely a book series. I would love to see it as a TV series too. That would be wonderful.
Hey,
I
there's
could turn them out
opportunity.
as fast as they wanted them.
Our good friends over at Storehouse Media Group, we partnered together, Media Giant Productions, to be able to do something really, really exciting. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Mitchell, now looking at, I guess, the book one and the way we kind of cover it is let's go into Scales of Justice for the last 3 minutes of this podcast. And then each week we're going to cover a book or a book and kind of dive into some of the deep things without giving it
Okay.
away. The
Okay.
goal is we want to kind of look at you as a writer so that, hey, you pick up a book of Mitchell Karnes, you want to go pick up another book and pick up another book. So tell
Okay.
me specifically about the Scales of Justice, your first book.
Okay. I envisioned that as a movie. That's how it came to me. I was just kind of visually watching it, and so I originally had it at the end of the story where he confronts the person who killed his parents, and he's doing a Russian roulette with him. And so, because he's done, he has nowhere to go, nowhere to run. He knows he's guilty of his past, and he just wants to face this person off at the last. And so, as he points it at that person, you get a little bit of their backstory. And so, it was alternating current, past. And so, it would break you out of the story with the word click. So as he pulled the trigger, that would bring you back to the reality, and then you would go into the other person's story. It was just so complicated. I started the first 3 chapters. I think I threw them away 17 times. Just never was like I saw it in my head, and so I had to simplify it. Start at the beginning, and then it ended up being 2 books merged into one, which is what the publisher wanted. So I told his story and the parent's story alternating in the same book. And keeping that a mystery was the hardest part, but it was fun. It was really rewarding, so that they both reveal at the same time.
All right. So next week, we're going to kind of delve deeper into Scales of Justice, and then
Okay.
we'll go into all the different books. Mitchell, best place people can find information on you. Where can they go?
Then go to my website, Mitchell S. Karnes, that's with a K, Karnes, author.com. They can also go to Amazon and look under Mitchell S. Karnes.